This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. We also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 26th of January 2022, and I am Miss K.
I'm Tuam.
And I am JM. In case you missed the headlines this morning, here they are. In the Daily Nation, Mudavadi, Ruto hand Uhuru, Raila shock defeat. In the Standard, Raila, Ruto fate in Kalonzo's hands. In the Star, Uhuru, Mudavadi disappointed me. And in People Daily, Uhuru, Raila is the best bet for Kenya. Kick us off, Ms. K.
All eyes are on Kalonzo Musyoka this week and the decision he must make on his political future. Kalonzo has three options. One, to join Raila in Azimio, to follow Mudavadi into UDA, or to attempt the presidency alone. However, we must inform Kalonzo that whatever choice he makes, Mudavadi is his choice architect. The decision made by Mudavadi to join UDA will dictate whatever decision Kalonzo will make. The terms choice architect and choice architecture were coined by Richard Thaler and Cass Sustain in their book Nudge. They say that if you have an ability to influence the choices other people make, you are a choice architect. And choice architecture is organizing the context in which people make decisions to influence those decisions that they make.
Right.
So by joining UDA, Mudavadi has created a context for Kalonzo that will dictate his decision for or against joining Baba. But Kalonzo needs to make a decision and make it quickly so that he does not fall prey to the philosophical paradox called Buridan's donkey. So in this hypothetical paradox, a donkey is equally hungry and thirsty and is placed midway between a stack of hay and a pail of water. The donkey cannot choose one over the other, and because of his indecision, the donkey dies of both hunger and thirst. This is what is happening to Kalonzo. He's conflicted by his decision. Kalonzo is politically hungry. I mean, he's been out in the political cold for 10 years. And like Buridan's donkey, Kalonzo has been placed at a midway point. On one side is Mudavadi and the hustler wheelbarrow, and on the other side is Raila and the Azimio presidency. If Kalonzo does not make a decision, like the donkey, he will die of political indecision. So the authors of Nudge also taught us that when making a decision, people will often take the option that requires the least effort or the path of least resistance. And if this is true, then Kalonzo has only one option, and that option is to join Raila Odinga in Azimio.
Fantastic. Now, today we will advance our Monday hypothesis. President Uhuru Kenyatta will midwife the Machiavellian moment in this election. And he will do this by using the law of inverse proportions. A gain on one side is a loss on the other side. On Monday, we asked if Musalia Mudavadi was sent to Ruto by Uhuru Kenyatta. Today, we are convinced more than ever that Uhuru sent Musalia to Ruto. And we say this for two reasons. One, is it a coincidence that Uhuru Kenyatta met loyal leaders yesterday at State House exactly 7 days after Musalia Mudavadi's State House night visit? Last week on Monday, 17th, 2022, Musalia Mudavadi went to see President Kenyatta at night. 72 hours later, he told us we would experience an earthquake at Bomas. Question is, what are the odds that in a span of 7 days, Uhuru would force a mass walkout of lawyers from ANC and at the same time have Kikuyus question Ruto? If Ruto's Kikuyu allies have begun demanding their running mate position, why would we doubt Uhuru's hands in Musalia's earthquake move? Two, Musalia is a special purpose vehicle that may force Ruto to join UDA. Now, William Ruto is in fact not a member of UDA. Ruto on paper belongs to Azimio, and his candidate is Raila. Should the new political party amendment bill pass, William Ruto will be deemed to have resigned from Jubilee. In fact, Section 14A of the amendment states that one cannot be a member of a political party or coalition and ascribe to the ideas of another party or coalition. Should the amendment be law and anyone breach it, they would be deemed to have resigned from their party. But even more dangerous to Ruto is, should he have not resigned from Jubilee by April 9th, 2022, he will not be able to join any other party or coalition. And that's because the amendment bill proposes that coalition party agreements will be submitted to the registrar of parties 4 months before the general election. Should this happen, Musalia will inherit UDA and sabotage it from within. If this is the plan, then why would you doubt Uhuru Kenyatta was not behind the earthquake? But I have another extreme thought. Musalia Mudavadi may just benefit from a Ruto ICC arrest warrant. Should the Brits and ICC issue an arrest warrant for Ruto for witness tampering or witness bribing, then Ruto may just be disqualified from running for office by IBC or the courts. And like in 2013, where he was a suspect, an arrest warrant would make Ruto an international fugitive. And there is international precedence to support this. In August 2018, Jean-Pierre Bemba was disqualified by a DRC court from running in DRC's presidential race. Bemba had been found guilty of bribing witnesses 11 years before that. Now, if Ruto is disqualified, Musalia becomes the UDA ANC coalition beneficiary purely on account of the Brits and ICC. But then again, I could be wrong. Not.
Very interesting hypotheses there. Before William Ruto got a PhD in plant sciences, he had another PhD. P for poor, H for hungry, and D for driven.
Hey.
And that is the only PhD that matters in politics.
Yes.
And kudos to him for that. And of all our Central Kenya deputy presidential candidates today, there's only one man who demonstrates the PhD credentials, and that's currently Peter Kenneth. PK is moving around the mountain, bit by bit, convening capitalists and other small constituencies to back him for the position of deputy president. And you know, it seems to be working, and I think he's up to something for this Azimio rally in Murang'a over the weekend. Now that he is the undisputable front runner for that position, as far as you know, we can see as the public, the next thing he needs to do is make fear his friend. Let me explain by way of a story about the birth of the iPhone. In 2006, Apple Inc. was grossing revenues of $19 billion, or about 2 trillion in today's money. That is 2/3 or so the size of Kenya's annual budget. The iPod alone contributed about 8 billion to that total revenue.
Yes.
Through the iPod, Apple had 90% of the global share for personal music devices. So things were going really great for Apple. And Steve Jobs was dominating the world, obviously. Then one day, Nokia released a below average mobile phone. To tell you how useless this Nokia was, its most superior feature was that you could download 6 songs onto it. Not very useful.
Yeah.
No one cared.
Yeah.
But this launch jolted Steve Jobs.
Yes.
That night, he didn't sleep. And he went into panic mode. He woke up in the middle of the night thinking, if they can download 6 tunes today, what happens if they can download 60 tunes tomorrow? Or 600 tunes the day after that? That will be the end of the iPod. And 50% of our business will be gone. And soon after that, our company will be driven out of the market altogether. So he started writing down numbers, doing calculations, and as far as he could see, there was only one answer. The next morning, he got his team together and said to them, we're getting into the phone business. Naturally, they thought he was crazy. He was being paranoid. But he explained that he had no choice. Either they ate Nokia's lunch or Nokia would eat theirs.
Yeah.
That is how the iPhone was born. Exactly a year later, in 2007, Apple launched the iPhone, and it integrated now, music and the phone as well. And by 2009, the iPhone was bringing in as much revenue as the iPod. By 2013, revenues from the iPod had dropped to $2.3 billion in revenue, but the iPhone had grown to $91 billion in revenue that was bringing in the equivalent of 9 trillion shillings. Apple is now the world's largest smartphone and most successful manufacturer. Obviously, Nokia fell by the wayside. And Steve Jobs, he knew that fear is the most valuable tool for an entrepreneur. I would say the same thing is the case in politics. Fear is an absolute must-have, especially during this season. So what Peter Kenneth needs to do to pull away from his rivals, he needs to cultivate a healthy dose of fear to set himself apart from these other guys who are just very shy about this role. I quite like the People Daily.
Absolutely.
There's a headline: Uhuru Raila is the best bet for Kenya. So I think we toss the rest of the papers and give the winning headline to the People Daily.
Yes.
Let's consider the cartoons. We've got a few part criteria: humorous or dry, satirical or pessimistic, and effective or just plain lazy. Ms. K.
Daily Nation. Here we have a caricature of a man dangling for his life on a broken bridge labeled Trust, and the man is wearing a jacket called One Kenya Alliance Oka. I think that despite them promising to go it together, they are now negotiating deals behind each other's backs all by themselves. So I think
quite comical,
it is quite comical and true. There is no trust.
Yeah. Well, as Putin said once to a journalist who asked him about, how is you and Donald Trump, America, Russia, do you guys trust each other? And he said these relationships are not a matter of trust, they're a matter of interest.
Absolutely.
Trust is nothing.
Yes.
Completely overrated. I'd say we toss it though. Funny though it is, we toss it.
That is Daily Nation, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, Standard.
Excellent. Standard. You have a caricature of Gadot, and that is cartoon depicts the skeleton of military coups rising from the grave, and I think that is with regard to Burkina Faso's president, Mr. Kabore, who was overthrown yesterday in a military coup. I mean, this is a country that has no military coup since when? What, the last 40 years or so? From Sankara to Blaise Compaoré to I don't know who. My goodness. I think that's a good cartoon. I mean,
artistic.
Good cartoon.
Put it in the parking
Put it in
with
the back
the
of the
resurrection
parking.
of military coups.
Yeah.
It's considered the star. And here you have Musalia Mudavadi, and he's opened his shirt, and as you can see, it's written there MUDA, VA. So, the reference there to the middle of his name, Uda.
And the yellowness of the t-shirt.
The yellowness of the t-shirt. You've got Malala back there and a few other Luya notables.
Yes.
And then it says Luya Unity to Sidanga Nyane.
Absolutely.
Seems to be no unity per se. I don't know what's happening
Yeah.
in the nation. No, a bit flat. I think we can toss that one.
I think that one it tosses very
I think we
far.
give winning cartoon to the Standard.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely. The Standard.
Wonderful, and the winning headline from the People Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on your TV screens. Find us on Pan Free to Air Go TV and Star Times. You can find me on Wainawa Kangema on TikTok.
You can find me at J Kambuni on Twitter.
K Minor on Twitter, Kanda Bongo on TikTok.
Wonderful. Have a good night.